Man, 2025, it's a new year. We're going to talk about it, man. Another day in paradise. Tonight's topic is drugs and alcohol addiction. Got nothing to do with this game. It got nothing to do with this game at all. And I want people to really, really soak up this message and really take notes. Drugs and alcohol have nothing to do with this game. I know your favorite rapper, your favorite musician, you know what I'm saying? They told you that it's okay to be off lean. It's okay to be off different stimulants. You know what I'm saying? But they don't got nothing to do with this game. That don't got nothing to do with this game. And a lot of the broads in the game, they fall victim to drugs. They fall victim to alcoholism. So I thought this topic would be very important. I don't condone or promote any criminal activities whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important that we talk about why a lot of people think that drugs and alcohol is just part of the lifestyle. Well, they've been doing it in the 80s, Ron. They've been doing it in the 90s, Ron. They don't make it right just because it's old school. They don't make it right just because it was back in the day. And to be honest, mixing drugs and alcohol and having a broad under the influence instead of influence her to do better, at the end of the day, that's what Max was doing. That's what Players was doing. Max and Players was doing that shit back in the time. They just had a broad that was willing to go outside and make him some money. But drugs and alcohol addiction, man, don't got nothing to do with this game. I know many in the game that they bought the broad, they didn't sat up there and brought the broad cocaine and they brought the broad alcohol. And you know what I'm saying? And, well, this keep her up, P. This keep her up. This keep her motivated at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Which one is a bigger influence on her? The drugs that you gave her or your game? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of niggas gonna say shit like, see, you a square type of pimp. You know what I mean? I'm a hip type of pimp though. You feel me? You don't give your bitches alcohol and drugs and stuff like that. That's square. When has wanting to be healthy and not wanting the bitch to kill her liver and kill her gut pretty much been square? So shit that basically keep her alive is considered square to a lot of these niggas. But I'm here to tell you that you not putting that bullshit in your body, that's not square. You know what I'm saying? That's not square at all. It's actually smart. I know many in the game that they buy a bitch a bottle before she get down because she didn't told you, she didn't sat up there and told you, what are some excuses he brought? Oh, drinking keeps me warm. You know what I'm saying? She didn't told you that drinking keeps her warm. Yeah, she didn't told you that she can't do this sober. She didn't told you that she make more money when she drink or when she do coke or when she do different type of drugs. She told you that I don't get too drunk. It's not that deep. I don't get too drunk. She didn't told you that all she need is a personal bottle. All I need is a small little bottle. She didn't told you that she got childhood traumas. She didn't told you she can't deal with tea sober because just the thought of it. She didn't told you that she needs to drink because it boosts her self-esteem. She didn't came up with all these excuses. She influenced you out of your instructions. Some of you niggas don't even got instructions, but she pretty much influenced you out of your instructions. All those things I brought up, the low self-esteem, the childhood traumas, it's cold outside, so I need to drink. All that shit is excuses. There's not a job in America where she can work where she can be under the influence of cocaine or alcohol. There's not a job out there where she can be high and drunk and function to the highest capacity that she can actually function. There's not a job in America. There's no job that's gonna allow her to drink, to get high, to get drunk. And a lot of these bras, if they worked at Best Buy or, Walgreens or Safeway or Target, they wouldn't get high and drunk while they on the clock. The lack of respect for the gentleman of leisure is something that's so common, man. It's like they respect everything else outside of what's generally best for them, which is a man. And I'm not just talking about her supervisor when I say her man. You know what I'm saying? But no, you can't function to the best of your abilities if you're high and drunk. She's drinking and she's doing drugs because the bitch wants to. So all that childhood trauma and she's drinking because it keeps her warm, or low self-esteem and all that shit. No, the bitch is drinking because she wants to drink. She's getting high because she wants to get high. You know what I'm saying? And all the excuses that, like, oh, the childhood trauma, the self-esteem, it keeps me warm, it keeps me motivated. Those are all excuses that other people have given the bitch. You know what I'm saying? She heard another bitch say drinking keeps her warm. She heard another bitch say childhood traumas. Or she didn't heard somebody else say, oh my gosh, you're drinking and you're killing yourself. I know you've been through a lot as a child and you're reminiscing, you're thinking about the time when you were young. Those are all motherfucking excuses. You're hurting on the inside, that's why you're drinking. Bullshit. Bullshit. I want all the fellas out there to stop buying that bullshit. I want all the young ladies that's listening to this right now to stop buying into that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's another drug out there. It's called bullshit. Stop purchasing bullshit. Stop buying into the thought of all these things that have transpired in your life, all these traumas. That's the reason why you're on drugs. That's a gateway. I don't believe that your traumas are a gateway, because you have some people that don't experience drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, and they have a lot of trauma. You know what I'm saying? It's really, honestly, to be honest, and you can't tell somebody how to cope with their trauma, fuck up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna buy that shit. Get the fuck up out of here with that square shit. It's not just square shit, no, because that's the victim's mentality. We're not allowing women to become victims. If you're a real gentleman, if you're a real man, you're not going to allow her to become a victim. Well, excuse me, you're not going to just accept it and have her in your presence. It's really her level of curiosity. It's the curiosity and being gullible. That's what persuades her. She's very easily influenced. A lot of the broads that do drugs and alcohol and they have these addictions, they're usually curious and very gullible, easily persuaded. It's not that the drugs have taken a toll on her. Maybe physically, if she continues to do it, but mentally, she has to understand that, you know what? I am a curious person. You know what? I am gullible. I am easily tricked by tricks. I am easily susceptible to a lot of these things. Now, she might have intelligence. She might be able to correlate different events and put things together. But the intelligence doesn't override. The intelligence is not strong enough. Her curiosity and being gullible is stronger than her intelligence. It's stronger than the power to say no. Because everybody has experienced some level of trauma. And when individuals love to put that she's hurting and all this shit, you're helping her avoid accountability. You're helping her avoid accountability. Another thing that a lot of women have, a lot of things that the ladies have, on top of that curiosity, that being gullible and easily persuaded, is they never had to be held accountable, because everybody else has put that childhood traumas. I feel so bad for her. She's a beautiful soul, and it's just that she's been through so much. So when you have the curiosity, she's already curious, she's a gullible person, and taking away accountability, what do you have? What do you have at the end of the day? What you have is a young lady that hasn't been told the truth. That, yeah, you are gullible, you are somebody that's very curious. And curiosity within the lifestyle of pimping and hoeing can lead somebody to a very dark road. Curiosity itself is not a bad thing, but curiosity from the standpoint of curiosity in finding that sensation, finding new sensations. You know what I'm saying? That don't involve her evolving or being successful. You know what I mean? That's something that's very, very, very important to understand. And see, the reason why I bring up drug addictions and alcohol that has nothing to do with this game is because you have squares that have the same addictions. What separates her from a square that like to go out to the club and drink every weekend? And she's asking simps, can you pay for my alcohol? Can you give me a bottle? Squares put on heels and skirts. Then they end up coming outside the club. After the club is shutting down, they come outside barefooted and drunk. You know what I'm saying? I honestly believe that some of these broads that are in the club that go outside, some of these squares, they'll make the same amount of trap as a bitch that has the same issues but calls herself having folks. They'll make the same amount of trap. Why? It's because you cannot function to the highest of your ability drunk or underneath any type of drugs. You know what I'm saying? Over time, too, I want people to understand this. See, one thing about the ladies that like to drink a lot, right, is it's a dopamine buildup. It's a feel good, especially with cocaine. To be honest, cocaine is a dopamine buildup. It's a stimulant, the serotonin. It has an effect on. It's a feel good. That's really what it is, but that feel good, I don't think a lot of young ladies know that it can alter their function. You know, depending on how often they do it, it starts to alter her brain function. You know what I'm saying? Associated with pleasure and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It has a big effect on her brain function. Like initially, she'll feel an increase of energy, like, ooh, you know what I'm saying, when she drinks. Like when she very first start off drinking, she has an increase in energy. Her pussy's wet. But as time goes on, and time goes on and on, the more she drinks, she'll start to feel drowsy, slow. She'll have a lack of energy and lack of enthusiasm. She'll feel the alcohol taking a drain out on her body. And see, this is interesting because recently, I don't know if you guys been watching the news, but a U.S. surgeon, they called for, they want to start putting cancer warnings on alcohol beverages. I want everybody to look into that. So it's not a coincidence that these alcohol beverages are starting to slowly take a toll on that young lady. She's starting to feel drowsy. It's almost like she feels like she's sinking at times. It's like a hole that she can't quite climb out of. Every time she takes a step and she takes another step, it's something just pulling her leg down. And she's in a dark hole. And she feels terrible after drinking. She values that sensation. That sensation the sensation never lasts. That sensation never lasts. With a lot of young ladies that are gullible and curious, they lack balance. They say too much of anything can kill you. They lack that balance. They lack awareness. I think that education in regards to drugs and alcohol is needed. And people might be like, "Oh, Ron, Ambassador Ron, drugs, they be having a hold of these bras. There's only two drugs that really hook somebody. Like really, really hook somebody. That's crystal and crack." You know what I'm saying? They immediately get hooked to things like that. Crystal and crack, people usually get hooked on that quick. And yeah, you can change your curiosity. Because somebody might, well, if she's a curious person, P, won't you just change her curiosity? But normally, I'm going to be honest with you. To change her curiosity, it has to be a very tragic event. A tragic event has to occur for her to believe you. Or she has to be open to change. One of the two. She has to be open to change and accepting of change. Not just open to it, but accepting of change. And she needs a traumatic event to happen for her to believe you. People that are curious, they tend to live life on the edge. They tend to take chances that might even result in them losing their life. Curiosity and being gullible. But you can change your curiosity. Traumatic events have to occur, and she has to be accepting the change. You know what I'm saying? And if she'll try everything once, because you have some broads that they have the mindset that, you know what, I want to try everything once. She'll fall victim to anything. You know what I'm saying? She'll try anything. And if she'll try anything once, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm here to tell you that you can have all the game in the world, P. You can pop it. You can have the coldest sermon. You know what I'm saying? Because every P, and for the young ladies out there, you might have a gentleman of leisure. Just look at that gentleman of leisure as your personal preacher, your personal pastor. And at the end of the day, just because The pastor at the end of the day has a cold sermon. Everybody doesn't get blessed by that cold sermon. Everybody doesn't catch the Holy Ghost in regards to that person's sermon. He might have a cold sermon. You got a cold pastor. And at the end of the day, a lot of you young ladies in the lifestyle, he's trying to preach to the choir. He's trying to preach to the congregation, but he hasn't learned the gospel. So he's trying to tell you to stop drinking and doing drugs, but he's somebody that's underneath the influence as well. The reason why the messages that he's saying doesn't hit is because he doesn't exemplify what he's talking about. So you question his message, and you question if he's really even a pastor. You know what I'm saying? You question if he's really a preacher, because he's an enemy to his own message. He's an enemy to his own motherfucking message. But we're not here to place the blame on just that individual. A lot of young ladies drink and they smoke and they do drugs because they want to. You know what I'm saying? People that drink and do drugs, they easily influence for the most part. Their curiosity, it's the search for the sensation. It's the constant search for a sensation. And there's more young ladies in the game right now that are on constant search for a sensation. It's majority, and they don't understand the perception that they're putting out there when they drink and do drugs, and they don't understand. Their sensations are way stronger than people's perception. Their sensation is so strong, it's overpowering your message and what you have to say to her. She doesn't care about image or what people think. But then again, she does. That's an interesting thing, right? And my question is this: can you be a successful lady of leisure and be addicted to alcohol and drugs? The answer is yes and no. It depends on what you want in the lifestyle. If you want to follow your folks' instructions, if you want to follow what he says, and if you want his instructions and you want to become a better version of yourself, if you really want your folks to take you serious at the end of the day, then no. You can't be a successful lady of leisure in the lifestyle and be addicted to drugs and alcohol. If you take what your folks, if you take what he says serious and you want to do it the right way, you know what I'm saying, you can't be underneath the influence of alcohol and drugs. But on the other hand, you know what I mean, you could be a successful bitch in the game underneath alcohol and drugs. It depends on your definition of success. Some may look at success as I made daddy some money. You know what I'm saying? So her definition of success and yours have to align. You know what I'm saying? If she thinks that alcohol addiction and drugs, if she really thinks it in her head, it's not a big deal. I just like to get high. I just like to get drunk. I just like to do crystal and a little bit of meth and a little bit of heroin, a little bit of crack. I gave you your money. If she thinks like that, then you're not going to be successful with that bitch. You're barely going to get by while she's getting high. You're barely going to get by while she's getting high. I need you to understand that. Because her sensations are always going to overshadow. Her sensations are always going to overpower. Her sensations are always going to be more important than her listening to your instructions. Most of the bras in the game, they tried crystal with the trick because of the curiosity and the sensation. The curiosity and sensation keeps sending her back. It keeps pushing her back. It keeps holding her down. You know what I'm saying? That's why you've been having troubles in your household. A lot of them do crystal with a trick and you don't even know it. A lot of them have lied to you and told you that they don't do crystal, they don't do any drugs, but she has. A lot of bras want to believe that I forgot how to be happy. I've been doing drugs for so long that I forgot how to be happy. That's bullshit. You didn't forget how to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been using drugs for so long. You know what I'm saying? Because you were happy in the process of looking for drugs before you even got high. You've had happy moments even before you got high. You didn't forget to be happy. That's society and that's the social norm. The social norm has told you that you're not happy unless you're high. You're not happy unless you're under the influence. That's social media telling you that bullshit. That's people in the comment section that's telling you that bullshit. Because my thing is this. Does she really care about her folks if sensations are more important than her listening to his instructions? Because what happens when she's confronted with something that she wants more than drugs? Like some authentic folks. If you really want me more than drugs, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if you're confronted with something that you want more than drugs and alcohol? Are you a reflection of your folks, or are you a reflection of your life experiences? All your life, you've been doing drugs and alcohol, and you've had dick. When are you gonna become a reflection of your folks? See, what's interesting is this. A lot of broads will say, I wanna be a reflection of my folks. I'm not a reflection of my life experiences. A lot of them are. You are a reflection of your life experiences. Because you're repeating the same thing over and over again. You're a reflection of your life experiences. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for a lot of bras to choose because she already has a God. You know what I'm saying? She already has a God. That coke, that crystal, that alcohol, that's her God. That's who she's serving. That's who she listens to. A bitch that really want her folks. I'm talking about a bitch that really want her folks. I'm not just talking about any old bitch. I'm talking about a real lady of leisure, for real. That really, really want her folks. She'll pass up on that trick. She'll pass up on that trick that got alcohol, that got drugs, that got crystal, that got crack, that got meth. She'll pass up on that trick because she understands her folks told her, don't do that shit. Her folks told her not to do it, so the bitch ain't gonna do it. Do not let drugs, alcohol, and money be your God. Pass up on that date. If he offered you any drugs and you know he's the type that he got drugs, pass up on that date, bitch. And if she looks at her, if she look at her folks, if she look at her folks as a God, she'll say, you know what? When this trick asks me for if I want to hit this crystal, if I want to hit this drug or this alcohol, I'm gonna call my folks. I'm gonna resist the sensation and the temptation, and I'm gonna call my folks because that is my God. Like it says in scripture, call on God, right? You shall ask and you shall receive. If she looks at you as a god, when them sensations creep into her mind, she'll call you because you're a god. You have the power over that broad. You have dominion over her. If you have true dominion over that bitch, she's gonna call you because she respects your mind. She respects your powers. She respects your ability to minister to her mind. Because my thing is this, if you followed your sensations before you met your folks and you're still following your sensations while you're with your folks, what God is more important? Has sensations ever introduced you to success? Or is it like a roller coaster that left you numb? Some young ladies are so used to their sensations that they're numb. No sensation is great enough. But in order to be a lady of leisure, this is my opinion, she has to be able to detach from sex. That's number one. I would say number two would be she got to be a sapiosexual. Number three, promiscuous. Number four, she got to be able to detach from any type of sensations. Squares and girlfriends and shit, I'm attached to them because of sex. She has to be able to detach from sensations. That's what make a real hoe. She can't detach from sensations, she's still a square. If she can't detach, if she can't be a sapiosexual, which is somebody that's attracted to knowledge, she can't be a hoe. If she can't have detachment from sex, she's still a square. If she's not promiscuous, this lifestyle's not for her. If she can't detach from sensations, she's still a square. If she can't detach from sensations, she still thinks like a child. You know, holding on to that bottle, not wanting to let go of that bottle. Not wanting to let go of the playing with toys. You know what I'm saying? They still thinks like a child because just like a child, they might play with a toy, right? They might love that toy. You take it away, she start crying. But then that child is gonna look for a new toy to enjoy. Thinking like a child. You know what I'm saying? And you might be like, why is this person always looking for a new sensation? Again, because they're gullible and they're curious. They're gullible. They're gullible and curious, and not even just that. They're easily persuaded for the most part. They might have a strong mind. Like, okay, I have a strong mind, but I choose to do this. I choose to do that. But your curiosity doesn't show, it doesn't showcase, like a lot of young ladies, their curiosity, it doesn't showcase their intelligence. It's like having a hidden talent that you didn't know about. You have to tap into that. A lot of young ladies have intelligence, they have to tap into it. And a lot of you niggas are the problem. A lot of you niggas in the game are the problem. I'm gonna explain why. Because a lot of you niggas are definitely a problem. Pete, so you don't think like at the end of the day your bitch is doing this or your bitch is doing that? Like I got this one bitch, right, Pete? Like she do drugs, she do alcohol, you feel me, whatever. She be doing drugs. I gave the bitch an E-pill, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I gave the bitch a Xanny. You know what I'm saying? Like I be doing little shit though, P, you feel me? I used to sell drugs, whoopty wop, you feel me, P? But I feel like a bitch that at the end of the day, she doing all them things because I ain't doing something right. Like, bottom line, if your bitch feel like she gotta do drugs, if your bitch feel like she gotta do alcohol, it's because you ain't doing something right. It's something that she's missing, so she run a coke. That's what a lot of niggas believe. If the bitch is doing coke, drugs, alcohol, it's the pimping fault. It's something that you're not doing. And see, my thing is this. Some young ladies, right? They might have dealt with Ambassador Ron and they felt the need to do cocaine and snort lines and meth or whatever the case may be. Or they might have dealt with you. For the gentleman that'll listen to me now, she might have did coke, alcohol, weed, promethazine, a little bit of everything. And she might have done it with you and been at her worst. It's because you desire to be an authentic representation of this lifestyle. You're trying to take away her sensations. With the other dude, the reason why she's smiling outside and her hair is done, her nails is done, is because he's catering to that bitch's sensations. Don't think at the end of the day, because I'm tired of niggas talking like that. Don't think at the end of the day that this bitch is doing all these things because you're not doing something right. The trap is slow because you're not doing something right. The only thing that you're not doing is catering towards her sensations. That's why she says you're hard. The only reason why a lot of these bitches say you hard is because you're not catering towards her temporary sensations. Cocaine, crystal, meth, heroin, alcohol, and whatever else drugs they got out there. That's why she says you're hard, because she hasn't got a stranglehold on her sensations. She can't control herself. She can if she wanted to. We all have the power and the abilities to conquer. We all have the powers and abilities to have that balance. It's a mindset. It's truly, truly, truly a mindset. That's all it really is. And when you sit up there and say that you did something wrong, or it's you not on the bitch, you gotta stay on her. You gotta be on her. You gotta watch her every move. You gotta watch when she take a shit. You gotta watch when she take a shower. You gotta watch her when she down. You gotta watch her when she not down. When the bitch is asleep, you gotta watch her. Matter of fact, when she's with the trick, you gotta be underneath the bed or in the closet, motherfucker. When you gotta do all that shit, you being put to work. And do hoes put tricks to work? Exactly. Hoes put tricks to work. They don't put pimps to work. If you want to be put to work, you should have worked at Best Buy or Taco Hell. If you have to monitor her every fucking move, is that a bitch that chose you? If you have to do the right thing, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I got to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? If you looking for reasons why is she doing this? She did this because I did this. You know what I'm saying? She did this because I did this. You know what I'm saying? She did alcohol because I wasn't on her. She did drugs because, you know what I'm saying, I didn't give her dick. That's why she's doing drugs. The bitch gonna do it because she wanna do it. You know what I'm saying? She can act like the dick changed everything. She'll act like it because you provide a sensation, but the bitch gonna stop when she wanna stop. Straight up. A bitch did it because she wanted to do it. It's too many Will Smith niggas in this game. It's too many husbands. You niggas sound like motherfucking husbands. You niggas sound like husbands. You niggas sound like Will Smith when he was at the red table talking to Jada Pinkett. That's what you niggas sound like. You looking for the reason why she's doing what she's doing. Why is she doing this to me? And you creating the narrative that she's only gonna do good if you act right. She only gonna do good because you did something right. So if you gotta act right for her to do right, if you have to act right in order for her to do right, You a trick. You a motherfucking trick. If you have to act right for her to do right, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta watch her. I gotta monitor her. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You a trick because she's putting you to work. When the reality is, when a bitch really fuck with you, she gonna listen and do what the fuck you told her to do. Bottom line. Ain't no dick, ain't no book, ain't no sermon, ain't none of that shit gonna change her from doing what the fuck she wanna do. She did drugs because she wanted to do drugs. She did alcohol because she wanted to do alcohol. It wasn't because of childhood trauma. It wasn't because she low self-esteem. It wasn't because of none of that shit. She did it because she wanted to. Strike the fuck up. And you need to start holding that bitch accountable. You did it because you wanted to, bitch. And when she's underneath drugs and stuff like that, there's nothing you can do. The most you can do is send her to rehab. Well, at the end of the day, P, sending her to rehab, that's still doing something for the bitch. So you a trick if you send her to rehab. No, you sent her to rehab. You gave her the information for her to get help. You sent her to go get help. You didn't go out your way. Sent her to rehab. Sent. Like how pimps send bitches on auto? Yeah. Sent her to rehab. Nigga. Tired of these niggas acting like Will Smith, but then try to pop this pimping. That's what pimps do. They send bitches on rehab. And many are curious and promiscuous and gullible. And that's the only reason why they're in their lifestyle. If we don't keep that shit all the way real, you only in the lifestyle because you're curious and you're gullible. But the curiosity doesn't have to be a bad thing. The gullible, you shouldn't be easily tricked by tricks. You got tricks saying shit like, they doing crystal right in front of the bitch for all the green bitches out there. If you with a trick and he has crystal and he says you're not gonna get high, and you end up inhaling that shit and then you want to try it. No, when a trick is doing any drugs around you, you say, you know what? I'm leaving. Or put that shit away. Don't even partake with the trick that does drugs because a lot of these tricks got game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these tricks got game. And some of these tricks got more game than your folks. So for you to look at your folks as a god, because, a real hoe is not going to be gullible. A real hoe is not going to be curious with everything. She's going to be curious on how to serve her God. What are some ways I can serve my God to the best of his abilities? You know what I mean? What are some things I can do to be a better woman? What are some things I can do to stay focused so I'm not easily persuaded? You know what I'm saying? That's what a hoe's gonna do. Another thing, I'm not gonna say one thing because this is another thing. Another thing about people that are curious and gullible is they tend to listen to women. Gullible and curious broads, they tend to listen to popular culture and they tend to listen to women. See, the culture now in today's society is to listen to a woman over a man. A broad will want validation from another broad to validate you as an important man. So broads that are curious and easily and are persuaded and gullible, they'll seek approval from other women. You know what I'm saying? They respect a woman's opinion over yours. So if one broad said that you solid, okay, I'll listen to you. Because gullible and curious people, they need constant validation and approval. So it's not that you have alcohol issues or drug issues. You're gullible and you're just a very curious person. Stop being diagnosed by tricks. He's a physician, so he knows what he's talking about. I have PTSD. I have bipolar and schizophrenic. I'm not somebody that's focused. I'm not somebody that's really bright. Stop self-diagnosing yourself. Because all that does is bring doubt. All that brings is doubt. You know what I'm saying? That's all it brings. Take out the negative narratives of doubt, of self hatred. I know I ain't shit. Okay, bitch, if you say you ain't shit, then I believe you. You ain't shit. And cocaine and crystal is big in this game. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be, but educate that woman on cocaine. You know what I'm saying? And how it's a dopamine, how it builds up the dopamine, and educate her on serotonin, oxytocins, and different chemicals that make her feel the way she feels. And then, also I want the young ladies to find a stimulant that leads towards success. A non life-threatening stimulant that leads towards success. Like this game. Like your folks. You know what I'm saying? Let these lives be a stimulant. Or play this live back to back. For all the gentlemen of leisure that listen to this, play this for your game. She doesn't have to choose me. She can still be with you and just be motivated by the information. Motivated by, and when you're on a long ride and you're in that car and you're in an hour-long ride or you go into a different city, play this shit. Play it again, back, and back. Play it, keep replaying this shit. Because the bitch need to listen to this. She needs to understand that her sensations shouldn't be more important than success. And I know a lot of bitches have told you, like, if you have to get high or drunk to do this, like, you shouldn't even be doing this. Like, you shouldn't even be doing this at all. Like, no, that's out. That'd be the same bitch that's doing cocaine behind your back. As a matter of fact, I'm going to believe that you are doing this shit, bitch. Because the reality is this. A lot of bitches are hiding the fact that they do coke, crystal, meth, sip syrup, do a little bit of everything behind their folks' back. And if a lot of you niggas knew what these bitches was doing behind closed doors, you'd be disgusted. And if she's doing coke and crystal with a trick, he's having it his way. He's fucking her the way he wants to fuck her. He's eating her coochie. He's fucking her from the back, fucking her from the front. 9 times out of 10, she's doing bear service. Because there's not a lot of limitations with people that like sensations. So, like I said, if the sensation is that strong, she's going to be susceptible and gullible. She's going to allow it to happen. If she's high, because cocaine makes a lot of young ladies horny. Alcohol makes a lot of young ladies horny. So if she's horny and she's already a gullible and she's a curious person, well, she's open to experiencing a lot of different things. And the trick is having it his way. And for all the young ladies out there, if you letting tricks have it their way, at the end of the day, then you really don't care about the connection with your folks. How much do you value the connection you have with your folks? How strong is that connection with your folks? Is the connection strong enough to supersede your sensations? Is the connection strong enough for you to say, I'm not going to go bear with this trick? Because when you go bear with the trick, you're bonding with the trick. And if you're bonding with the trick, there's no need for him to put his dick in you. If you're bonding with the trick, there's no need for him to give you too much game. And I'm just keeping it real. It starts with the bitch. I know Gorgeous Dre said it starts with the man. The man, the man. We live in a different time. And blessings to Gorgeous Dre. Shout out to Gorgeous Dre. But when it comes to drugs, it starts off with the bitch. She has to want to not be on drugs. And I'm going to say this, it starts with some of you niggas too, because you have to not want to be on drugs. This is for the ladies because I want them to understand that you can overpower that, because I hear that's a common thing within the lifestyle. Broads on drugs. And if you're if you're doing anything behind your folks' back, barebacking behind his back or doing any drugs behind his back, you're taking away from the connection that you guys potentially could have. And P, stop saying that, since I didn't do this, that's the reason why she's doing all this other shit. She did it because she wanted to, P. Stop taking away accountability from the bitch. She did it because she wanted to. That's just what it is. If you're looking for, she did this because I did that, you're always going to be on your toes with that bitch. She's teaching you how to treat her. And that's very unpimpish if she's teaching you how to treat her. If you act right, I'll stop doing drugs. How bad do you want this trap? Then you know what to do. Nigga, get on your hands and feet, nigga. You know what I'm saying? How bad do you want this trap? You better act right if you want this trap then, nigga. She's teaching you how to treat her. And now you're a trick. That's how it starts off. You start trying to do all these things to change the bitch, it's not gonna work. That's why a lot of you niggas do all these things to try to change the bitch. She's still not happy even when you present all these great ideas, and she leave your motherfucking ass and she's super in pocket and she don't do no drugs with the next motherfucker. It's because she didn't see the value in you. They don't got nothing to do with you acting right and all this other shit. She didn't see the value in you. And bitch, if you don't see the value in the person that you paying, you need to find you some new folks. And for a lot of you broads too, what you need to understand is this. Stop looking for the pimping for rehab. A pimp is not a rehab center. A lot of bitches have alcohol issues, drug issues, and they think if I choose a pimp, all of this is going to go away. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to go away. You have to make a conscious decision to stop. Otherwise, you're going to keep going through the same shit, and you're never going to truly have your folks if you don't stop alcohol and drugs. You'll never have your folks truly. Because somebody with principles, somebody with morals and motherfucking standards, he's not going to fulfill all the things that you want done. And you'll never have your folks. The only way you'll have your folks is if you follow his instructions. Make your folks your God. That's what you need to do. And again, we don't promote or condone any criminal activities whatsoever. It's just I really had to talk about this in 2025 because we going to make it a thing where drinking alcohol is not a thing. Bitch getting drunk and high before she get down, that shouldn't be a thing. We going to make drinking water and eating fruit and going 30 days without alcohol and going 30 days without drugs. We going to make that a thing in 2025. You know what I'm saying? We going to make that a thing. Oh, we have a family history of drinking alcohol and drugs. Well, bitch, break the family curse then, bitch. Even though all that shit is just an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Break the family cycle then, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot, and this is another thing. Well, when I did something wrong, P, she did run the drugs though. She did that for attention, P. She did that for attention. She didn't do that because she's addicted and all this other shit. She did that for attention. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of broads need to stop falling victim to the stereotype of hoes in the game. The stereotype is that bitches do drugs. The pimps feed them drugs and, alcohol. Stop falling to that stereotype and understand that that's embarrassing for some authentic folks. There's no way he can knock another bitch if you're high and underneath their influence and you up under him. He's not going to be able to bring a new broad in when the program is like that. Unless it's a bitch that likes that type of shit, and that's not a quality bitch. So understand that when you're outside and you're around other people, people are watching. And that's very motherfucking embarrassing when you're high and you're drunk. Especially if he got a name. If he got a name in the game and you a bitch that get high and drunk, you embarrassing that man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to say he's a god. How come she doesn't view him as one? He's a motherfucking god. She's serving a whole different God. You know what I'm saying? And to get fired from selling your own pussy is crazy. You sell your own pussy, bitch, and you get fired because you want to do alcohol and drugs. You get fired from a pimp. You just not. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And, your name in this game is very important. So what perception do you want people to have of you? What legacy are you leaving behind? That's something to think about. For all the people that want consultation in regards to this message, reach out to me on ambassador_Ron 2.0. And I appreciate the super chats from earlier. I did a live earlier. I ended up deleting the live because we had trolls in there. But at the end of the day, if you need consultation, reach out to me. For all the young ladies or even some of the fellas that want to seek help in regards to alcoholism or drugs, sometimes the best thing to do is to check in rehab. But it starts with you wanting to. There's no purpose in you going to rehab if you don't want to. There's no purpose in even having folks if you don't want to change, if you're not accepting of change. But this live was actually a very good live. I think, this live can help people. And replay this. You need to replay this live a lot. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your sensations overrule you, because sensations also rule a lot of squares. As a matter of fact, I know some squares that don't let their sensations rule them. There's some square young ladies out there right now that got some hone in them. They don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? And you have to ask yourself, what is it about these temporary pleasures that keep me coming back? Why is this sensation the most important thing in my life? When, sensations come and go. Just like my daddy. I'm not saying my father. My father's in my life, But just like a lot of you bitches' daddies and a lot of you niggas' daddies, They was in your life, they came and they went. Are you a reflection of your life experiences? Boyfriends that came and went? You know what I'm saying? Success was presented in your life, it came and it went. A lot of things came and it left. Don't be a victim to your experiences in your life. Don't let your experiences be the reason why you have excuses. Drop the excuses and pick up the accountability. You have the power to define your success or your misfortunes in life. With that being said, I'm going to end this live. Peace and blessings to everybody that joined this live. And understand, once you conquer your sensations, then you'll be able to say it's another day in paradise. Gone.